Good afternoon. Once again, I'm back on the Sunny Show. I'm very grateful and appreciative to have this platform to talk about me and my program, Real Men Saving Lives. But before I even talk about me, I just want to give some words of inspiration to anybody that's struggling, anybody that's down on their luck, any youth don't think there's a way out of the negative things they're doing, the lifestyle they're living. There's a way out. You have guys like me who have been involved in unsavory and negative things in the street who have turned this life around. So I'm telling you that if there's anything you're going through right now, all you have to do is come to people like me that want to help you improve the quality of your life, and we can turn your life around. My program, Real Men Saving Lives, is geared towards helping at-risk youth or anybody that wants to live a better quality life. But I'm geared towards helping the youth out here that are selling drugs, carrying guns, getting involved in unnecessary violence. I want to quell the unnecessary homicides and murders in this city. I'm real adamant and passionate about helping our youth live a better quality of life. You know what I mean? I started Real Men Saving Lives in 2014. I had a couple youth rallies, Stop the Violence, Save Our Youth rallies. It went off real well. I kind of died off for a little bit because I wasn't getting the proper help I needed. And one morning I woke up and said I need to go along with my mission, with my passion. That's to help the youth save their lives. So, I work in juvenile detention. I collaborate with a lot of different organizations. I speak at different schools trying to help at-risk youth stop what they're doing. But we as a community, we as a people, we as a city need to come together and stop what's been going on. It's necessary. Every day you pick up the newspaper, a young man or a young woman has been killed by unnecessary violence. People selling drugs, dying from drug overdoses. People don't want to come out. Elderly people don't want to come out their homes because they got guys on the corner selling drugs. When does it stop? Real Men Saving Lives will accept any man, that was willing to help to get involved and stop what we're doing. I don't want anybody that would just want to come and show up briefly. I need consistency. I need commitment to stop what's going on out here. I spoke to a group of very young children. and killing people unnecessarily and being a scourge of your community, there's a way out. So, like I said, I can't emphasize enough that I'm grateful for the Sunny Show and Philly Hot Radio for allowing me to come back again and voice what I'm trying to do. And as many times as y'all had me, I'll be here.
I thank you for coming on. You have no idea how grateful I am for that. I appreciate you coming out here, sharing your story and telling us all about it. And yeah, this is the third time.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah,
You know, I never really told y'all, the audience, like how I got to the point where I'm in right now. You know what I mean? I played basketball. I wasn't no angel growing up. I grew up in the Heart of the Moon gang. I was from the gang. I hung out, played ball. I had in the playground, and I played basketball in Nova Scotia with a close friend of mine, Darryl Lloyd, China, whose brother is Lewis Lloyd, who used to play for the Houston Rockets. He was my teammate overseas, and I came back from the airport. I got picked up from the airport, had a few items that Reebok who was sponsoring us, and I went around the corner, and some guys thought I was somebody else in my family, and they rolled up on me and they shot me 4 times, which stopped me from playing basketball. I was in a coma for a few days, paralyzed and waist down for 19 and a half months. Took me 2 years to learn how to walk again, wore a colostomy bag. Just was messed up. It took me quite a few years to get healthy again. Once I got healthy again, I thought life wasn't worth living. So I dwelled into the negative parts of life, like hustling, selling drugs, carrying guns, like being a scourge in my community. And until I went away. And I came home, and I still kept doing the same things, getting high, running the streets. My family wouldn't be bothered with me. I was at my wit's end. And then one day I went away, and once I got myself together, I never looked back. And I made a commitment that from this day forward, because God spared me, I was going to always be an asset to my community instead of a liability. I wanted to help young men. I have a way with young men. They see me, I kind of dress like them. I'm tatted up, with the same kind of stuff they got. And they see me, and the way I come at them, they can relate to me. And so, I've been there, incarcerated, got high, sold drugs, carried guns, all that stuff, right? So, and when I got shot, man, I thought that life wasn't worth living no more, because I played bad. I was a pretty good ball player. Got to play in college. Like I said, one of my teammates, who's one of my closest friends, Darryl Lloyd, China. He was one of my closest. He's one of my closest friends, and I played with Steve Black and a few other players. My friend William Wingate. Who was a great athlete. David Robinson, and we all played at the playground, and we were good, man. And when I got shot, I didn't think it was anything worth it. So I dwelled into very negative things, and once I got myself together, man, I have a way with the youth. I'm good at getting across to them. I'm good at talking to them. I'm good at relating with them, because who's better to tell them not to do that than somebody used to do that?
Been through.
So that's my story, man. Like I said, at one point in time, like I wasn't even about hustling. I was my best customer. So I thank God for giving me the way to communicate and talk to our youth, and try to help them live a better, quiet life. And I'm determined to make a difference. See, it's different. People come, right, and they say they want to make a difference, but I'm determined to make a difference. I'm determined. I'm determined to do something and help somebody see their life. Because if my story, if my experience can just save a few lives, man, then I'm on the right path. So, I just want to give people a little brief synopsis of what got me to doing what I'm doing. But what I understand is it was always in me. It was always in me.
Yeah, it was already there.
Already in there. You know that there's a lot of us that have gifts, hidden gifts. They're really not that deep inside of us. They just don't know how to tap into them, or how to utilize them, or how to bring them forth, or give birth to them. You ever noticed that one?
Yeah, it's also a lot of times where a lot of gifted people feel weird. You know what I mean? For possessing certain gifts, and they're afraid to express them. They're afraid of how people might look at them.
Oh.
You know, but what I found through life, most people be envious of your gift because they might not have it. You know what I mean? So the very things that we, you know, kind of beat ourselves up or we're shy about in ourselves, it's envied by others.
You'd be surprised how many people will come to you and say, "You really think you're gonna make a difference?" How they have a very defeatist and pessimistic attitude of what I'm trying to do or what other people like me are trying to do that's positive, because they scared to get out here and they're comfortable with what's going on.
Right.
They got so accustomed to it, it becomes the norm for them. But young men dying in the street is not normal.
No,
Young men dying before their 21st birthday is not normal. Young women out here selling their body and doing anything to be with a man just to feel accepted is not normal.
right.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
When we going to teach them, these young women, that they're queens and they should be treated accordingly and that the men are kings and need to tap into their greatness? You know what I mean? That's what we falling off at. We need more people like me who have experienced some things in their life, who have did some negative things in life and have turned it around and say, listen, I made the mistake for you. You don't have to do it, right? I made the mistake for you. You don't gotta mess your life up and wait till you grown and then the light bulb goes off and it might be too late. You know what I mean? Some people wait till it's exactly too late and then they stuck in that vicious cycle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm gonna try to tell these young men, these young women out here, man, that there's a better way.
I'm glad you said that because, can I say that word allegedly? I could say that word allegedly. I don't want to use that word because it doesn't really apply to anything, but I've noticed, what happened was I used to get flooded inboxing, Facebook, and it worked my nerves to now I found out how I could block people from sending me stuff while they still my friends. But it was a point where it was always a video of females fighting, and they would address themselves as the biggest, baddest bitch. And I'm like, isn't that an animal? So you don't want to be the title that's on your birth certificate where it says female, which is a human, or your name, you want to be known as a dog. There's a lady on my page who she's extra. So I figure what happens is, rather than avoiding her, if I keep putting stuff out, you know what it remind me of when you're sitting in the elevator and you don't pay attention to the music until you leave, and then you realize, yo, where'd that song come from? That's like if you keep calling a female a queen, eventually she'll be like, wait a minute, didn't I hear that before? Oh, shucks. So I kept addressing her as queen. She's still doing extra stuff, but I still address her as a queen because I figured at one point that light bulb might go off and she see herself as such. But I addressed the young lady as a queen on Facebook, and she literally thought I was trying to hit on her. I'm like, yo, I had to do a full-blown ad. No, sunshine, I wasn't trying to hit on you. I'm saying out loud that you are technically, like, don't you want to be better than... But we don't see it. I don't know, not we. Some of these females don't see themselves as queens, but it's sad because it works both ways. When I hear the guys calling females allegedly names other than what's on their birth certificate, and then try to justify it. But I hear this gentleman over here, trying to do the opposite, and hopefully, like you said, I agree with both of you. Some of them have these gifts that they don't know about, and then some of them do, but as you were saying, it's like as soon as I go to try to tap into it, someone hits me with the negative, and it's like, well, why do I need to go? What I need to move forward for?
And I work at a juvenile detention center, right? And you would be surprised. You actually be taken aback and actually stunned by how much they don't value or think education is important.
Yes.
Like, it's sad. Like, they really think, they're talking about, I want to go back to the block. Go back to the block and do what? Go back to the block and die? And if you see, and then we're talking about the young ladies, right? When you see them videos of the young ladies fighting, if you was to sit them down and they had a moment of sanity, right? You ask them, what are you actually fighting for?
They don't know.
Huh? What are you actually fighting for?
They
What are you
don't have
actually
nothing
beefing
to
with
do.
those guys that live 2 blocks away from you? Because you know we grew up in the same neighborhood, right?
Absolutely.
If you lived 2 blocks from me, we was all from the same place.
From the same place.
We was together. So why you beef with it? Y'all can't even go to the corner store, right? That your parents frequent, right? Because you beefing. Your parent and his parent might go to the same church, but y'all trying to kill each other.
Right.
And then when you sit them down, right, you ask them, like, what are y'all really what y'all fighting over? Oh, it's been going on for so long. They can't even give you the origin of where it started.
Where is that? The McCoys and
Hatfields and
McCoys.
McCoys.
Yeah, we don't even know.
They don't even know why they feud.
but we just carried on.
And that's
you know?
sad. Young men are dying because somebody before them had a beef with somebody from a different neighborhood, right? And then somebody before them had a beef with some. But what is the origin of it? What is actually? And we understand that when back in the day was gang wars, you know what I mean. But it wasn't that, you know what I mean. You couldn't go to this neighborhood if you wasn't from this gang. But today it's just so senseless, man. Young men roundable, young men shooting each other. Listen, a young boy told me that I spoke to him, right? He was in jail for shooting somebody. 17 years old. And you know what he told me he shot the guy for? Because he looked at him wrong.
I'm not laughing.
Because he looked at him
But
wrong.
I've seen people go into almost full-blown physical altercations because they stepped on their brand new sneakers.
Oh,
And it's just,
I'm like, are you?
what
You mean
kind
the things that you can wipe off and?
and that's a crazy belief system. That's standing for something that's so irrelevant to the big picture of what life has to offer you. I'm gonna listen, and when I try to tell a young man when I talk to him, if you kill him, right, and you go to the penitentiary for 20, 25, 30 years, right, then your family was without you, and then the family that lost their loved one, they were out, so 2 families are destroyed. You know, and 2 families are destroyed and in turmoil because you're in the penitentiary and this other young man is dead because of what? Of what?
No.
If you took a survey of how many young men, right, are in the penitentiary now for killing somebody, right, I bet you it's senseless. And we need to tell these young men, listen, man, there are avenues, there are vehicles for you to live a good quality life, right? And I'm haven't given up on you because ain't nobody gave up on me. My first time I came to the show, I was with a gentleman named Joel Say, whose son got killed in front of him on his porch. Senseless, right? But this man never gave up on me. He would see me. He would pour into me. He would help me. He would encourage me. He would tell me he loved me and he would tell me I was great. Right? Which I was suppressing my greatness because I felt bad about what happened to me from getting shot and not being able to tap into my dream. So I suppressed my greatness. But I had a man like him and other men in my family, right, that would tell me I was great. You know what I'm saying? That would nurture me and cultivate my greatness. So, like, listen, man, I just want these young men and these young women to know, and I'm going to say it as much as possible, y'all are kings, y'all are queens. And my program, Real Men Saving Lives, is available to help you. You know, I will go anywhere and speak. I will go to any school and speak. I will go any function, any church place, any masjid. I will go anywhere to speak to our youth, right, to tell them that you don't have to keep dying senselessly.
That's right. That's right.
Senselessly.
If you look at Instagram, right, you know, sometimes I look on Instagram just to see how much negativity is put up on social media, period. And these young ladies want to be half dressed and they want to show. Listen, man, and that's not life for real.
It's not.
You know, I mean, they so fly on Instagram, but if you was to get next to them, none of that what they say is going on is really going on. I'm not saying some people don't got it going on, but like, listen, y'all living in a fantasy. Living in a fantasy.
It's television. It's reality television.
But how do you change that mindset? How do you get? I get that each one, reach one, teach one. I get that one, but it's gotten to the point where we get more upset. So I'm gonna say allegedly, some in our black community allegedly get more upset when we are killed or tortured or badly beaten at the hands of someone other than our color. But it's like comfortable
when we do it
to each other. There's no one protesting and marching, coming on with the picket signs and where our council people are at when we kill one another.
So you know, this kind of being what's the word I'm looking for? Hypocritical right? When they say Black Lives Matter, right? Because if Black Lives Matter, that means we don't need to kill each other. We don't need to senselessly cause harm to each other. And if we do that, we take more pride in ourselves. The people that are hurting us, i.e., I'm not saying all police officers are bad. I'm not going to say that, right? But I'm talking about we do know that there's some bad ones that focus on us and stereotype us and come at us negatively. But if we take better care of ourselves, they won't be allowed to do that to us.
If we were better representations of ourselves. Again, we want to adopt this persona of gangster.
Yeah, I remember you said that last time.
When you strike that fear that you wanted to project in this gangster role that you're playing, and people react to that fear now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's senseless. You know, you get what you ask for. You want everybody to think you're a gangster. You want to be feared, and you know what I mean.
But she said something a few minutes ago. But how do we change that mindset? I think that we need people like us who are doing what we're doing now, trying to bring some awareness to the situation, trying to find a solution to the situation, because we need to be solution oriented. Like we could get together, we can have meetings, we can speak, we can have functions, but what's the solution, right? We need to be solution oriented. I think people like us need to be more adamant about getting other people to stop being quiet and become a voice.
Yes.
Become a voice.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Yeah. This what's going on right now has been going on, in my opinion, entirely too long. Look,
way too long.
Too long.
Are we tired of being tired?
Yeah, it's time for action. There's no more time for marching. There's no more time for any of that stuff. We have people in positions that they could cause change. You know what I mean? We have to reach out to them. We have to bring different. Stop crying about the past and what happened in the past. Right now, we're living, and we could live the fruits. We can live in the fruits that our forefathers fought for. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is happening. Oh, this, that. It keep holding us down. And we have so many things that we can touch. We don't know. But there's so many things that we can touch today that our forefathers fought and died for. Right? They got that victory. We're not walking in the victory because we don't know.
And you know what else I noticed, man? People are so comfortable with the negative things that are going on. They have become comfortable. Yeah. You know, and she's talking about we had to touch our politicians. About a month ago, maybe a little over a month now, a friend of mine, brother-in-law, Tracy L. Fisher, who has a program called Gateway to Reentry. It stops recidivism, very active. Doesn't desire to be a politician, but is adamant about stopping what's going on, stopping young men from coming home from the penitentiary and going back to the penitentiary, stopping that vicious cycle. Right. He invited me to go to Bartram High School, and Senator Williams was there. And Senator Williams took us all the way back to Marcus Yates. Remember the young man that got killed on a drug corner, got a shootout years ago? Right. And Benny Swines, who had stopped all this gang activity and crisis intervention and stuff like that. And I spoke to him, and he said, listen, I don't desire to be a politician, but the politicians need to help us achieve what we're trying to achieve. I have Curtis Jones' personal cell phone, and he told me anytime I want to talk to him or get access to a playground to put something on, I can. So this summer I'm going to call them on that.
Yes, it's time for action.
But you know what I mean? What I'm saying is that instead of when something happens, I said this is my first time I was on the Sunny Show on Philly Hot Radio, that people want to be reactive when something happens. Right? Somebody gets hurt, somebody gets killed, the police do something, they want to have a march, right? How about being proactive? How about doing something and keep it going on? How about getting in the street and stay in the street? How about not just do something when something happens that particular instance? How about just have an ongoing, something ongoing that doesn't stop? So we can quell the senseless negativity and violence that's going on. We can stop our young men from going back to the penitentiary. We can stop our young men from dying. We can give them some hope if we be proactive and stay in the street. Because once something happens, then after a week or two, it dies down and nobody hears nothing else about it.
Is that 5 minutes of 15 minutes of fame?
Yeah, that's what it is.
I believe if we give them something else to idolize, then we'll be making some headway. You know, so that's why shows like this, the Sony Show, is important, because showcase we can showcase different successful people like, oh wow, I didn't have to sell drugs because this person right here, he came from around the corner from me and he's a pharmacist or he's a, you understand, some sort of ist.
Yeah.
That's the, we need to give them something else to idolize. Show our success in different avenues.
Yeah,
That was just a friend of mine texted me, Malika Jackson from Amani Star. Powerful young woman, man. Gonna help me put together the youth breakfast. She just texted me and said she was outside. I asked her to accompany me today. And she's a powerful young woman. I know that her feistiness, right, is second to none. You know what I mean? And I met her. I went to. Remember I sent you the flyer last time I was here. I went to the town meeting in Germantown.
Right.
Listen,
right.
it was very. And guess what the topic was?
What was it?
Let's have a solution to. We don't just want to meet right now. Talk about what's going on, right? Right. Let's start having solutions. So we got together that we're going to form a coalition, an umbrella, where all the programs keep their identity, but we come together once a month, meet, and we start putting together. So when I have a function, they come support me. When they have something, they come support. We come support.
Yeah,
so we can start.
Yeah.
So we can start being visible. So we can start helping these people. People there will have a whole plethora of stuff that can help these people stop doing what they doing to each other.
What good is a network
If you don't
when
use
it's not working?
That's right.
What? Okay, I've always considered myself the black sheep. I was raised the only child, so let me give a synopsis. I don't do the click thing, I don't do the, you like me, you don't, you don't. I don't care if I was a billionaire, I would not buy you. I don't buy you when I'm poor, I'm not gonna buy you when I'm rich. So here's the thing, when I moved in Delaware, I was in the county. Actually, I'm still in the county, but I started networking in the city, big difference. So I got to see stuff. It took me a minute, but I got to see stuff. All the organizations, and I get it, I get it. When you're reaching out to organizations for funding, the first thing they say is, hey, Red Cross is known. So, okay, I'm going to give to them. Cool, I got that. But my thing is, there's other organizations out here. So I began watching, as y'all was talking about all these organizations, I began watching organizations whose names I'm not going to throw out there. And there's no allegedly, but it's not that they don't want to come together to become, and be separate. Is that I don't want to lose my funding. Like, here's the thing, I'm already collecting money doing just like some of these politicians, barely nothing. So you come along, now I got to do barely more. I don't want to do that, which is kind of sad because these organizations that are collecting fundings,
Said the door's locked out.
there's organizations that collecting funding to help us should be helping us, but they're not. So that's my biggest complaint when y'all say let's do something and reach out to these organizations. Some of them are just lax, like they've been doing it so long.
Right, and that's and when you do the same thing over and over again and expect different results.
Insanity.
Okay, so now here's where individuals come in. The corporations have been failing us since their inception. Okay? Been failing us. All of the money that gets poured into these major corporations, it doesn't funnel down to the people who it's collected for.
Yeah.
Never. So here's the individuals. Myself, you know what I mean? We do what we can as an individual. It'll cause a tidal wave if every individual took it upon themselves to take action. I grab one, you grab one. That's two right there. Right? And then it grows. We're a creature of we like the copycat. So once people see, what they doing? Oh, they got them a young boy. They oh, that's cool. I'm gonna get me one. All it takes is one. All it takes is one.
Man, we gotta go back to the mantra. Go back to the mantra where it takes a village.
Definitely takes a village. we're gonna.
Listen, I'm so glad that I'm gonna say she's my friend now, right? I met Malika from Amani Star at the town meeting last week, right? And you know, when you meet somebody who has the same passion and drive as you,
Right.
there's a connection. And she reached out to me and said she's going to help me as far as putting together the youth breakfast. Her organization is Amani Star, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And I don't know. I'm just glad she came. I told her then when I got here that you might be coming, and she has a lot to offer. Her program has a lot to offer. She talked about having, and correct me if I'm wrong, Malika, having a place where young men can go in the evening around a time where all the senseless shootings and violence going on. You know, have those men off the street, giving them an avenue and a vehicle to do something positive with their life, man. So, you know, she could tell more about it, what she does, than I can. But this is my friend now. That's my friend now.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate your friend coming.
How y'all doing today?
We good and you?
Very good, very good. I'm sorry I'm a little tardy. I was just leaving the center, as a matter of fact, where we're going to facilitate some of the programs. So I brought my sister with me. She doesn't want to come over here, but she's all my help. Okay, but I'm from Amani Star Development. It's a nonprofit organization that my brother started some years ago. It's on 60th Street in West Philadelphia. But we're going to be collaborating with the Overbrook Beacon Community Center and facilitating workshops. I don't want to call them programs. They're workshops. They're for the children in the village. Majority of my concern is to focus on the male gender. Because most of the violence, like me and Derek was talking about, are the males, you know. And the women have a lot of things. You know, I'm a woman, nothing against them. We have a lot of things. There's always sister groups and this and that and things that we have, but it's very little things for the males.
Right.
And especially the young black males, you know. So they're always, you know, somewhere standing around, but it's not a lot for them to do. So
Right.
me, Najwa, a couple of other people at Amani Star Development. She is an assistant director with me at Overbrook Beacon, and she's a director. She's one of the educational directors at Amani Star Development. And so we're going to put together some programs where one of the issues is the time. We have things for the children, but it's generally during the day, it's camps and things like that. I think the program should be when the issues are, and I feel like the issues are between 7 p.m. and 2 a.m. Those are when most of, when the sun goes down, you know, most of that starts. And a lot of it comes through way of just them not having much to do, having pride issues, having a lot of things going on out there, and they have nothing to do with their time. So we're going to facilitate a number of programs, and one of them will be tailoring. We have a male teller who's been a teller for 30 years that will teach the young men how to sew if they're interested, and really tailoring their own clothes. It'll be fashion over firearms. They can come do that. Then we'll have a workshop, and with that workshop there'll be a barber there, and that's me and Derek are gonna do some things with that. I want him to bring some of his guys over.
Yeah, I have a friend that owns a barbershop, ESPM Zone, Mike Monroe, who's willing to collaborate with us to teach the young men how to cut hair.
Shout out to Mike.
Okay, I didn't know that's who that was. But yeah, that's it. We know Mike. So then we have a workshop that Nadra's going to put together called Acting Up. She has a degree in theater.
We're not talking to her because she over in the cut.
I know, she didn't want to come over here.
Hey, she didn't want to come over here.
Tell her to get over here. That's
Yeah, we're talking about her program in the cut.
Better tell you a little bit because we got a lot of things going on, but I'm going to tell you a little.
I'm so happy they came, man. I don't know. I'm gonna give y'all a hug when y'all be finished, man.
Is this on? Yes. The workshop that I'll be providing is called Acting Up, and it's because that's what's happening right now on the streets. These kids are acting up.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And not just the younger children, but you have the adolescents and some young adults as well. So my workshop will gear towards the age of 16 to 34. And the intention is to bring light to one of the main reasons that I believe violence is happening is peer pressure, self-esteem. So I will address all those via different acting techniques.
Right.
So for instance, like improv. Improv is really good because our lives, we don't get to rehearse. Everything's an improv in our world. everything's an ad lib. We don't always have a rehearsed show. We don't get that. So through improv, I will teach character building, life skills, conflict resolution, and at the very end, all of us will work together, all those, and I call them stakeholders. They're not necessarily participants because I want them to really have a hold on, be able to invest in what we're doing. So at the end of the workshop, they'll be able to actually write their own play, a nonviolence play. And there will be 4 Saturdays during the workshop that we'll go to Cedar Park, Malcolm X Park, Sister Claire Muhammad Park, and Carroll Park and Tuscan Playground, and we'll do improv there. So, and we'll actually want to get the people who are there already at the park to participate. And that will also be a way that we will promote the finale show.
And include the other people from the community.
And include,
because see, only a certain amount of children are going to show up.
Right.
A certain amount of young adults, a certain amount of parents are going to participate. So in order for the community to see what's going on, it's the same with the young men who will decide to be a part of the Tell 'em workshop. That's strictly, now the acting up is for both genders. The Tell 'em workshop is strictly for males. We need to focus on them. They need to pull their pants up. They need to learn some etiquettes, you know what I mean? Plus, the other thing is when you're trying to get them together, they got pride issues. They don't want the girls around while they're trying to clean themselves up.
Yeah.
So I feel like if we just let them do that and be in that male environment and do that male bonding, and the key thing for me is to do it. So all of these workshops that we're talking about will take place from 7 to 10.
And you remember earlier we was talking about being solution oriented.
Right.
That's what made me so attracted to what they were saying.
I like
it's
that.
about being solution oriented, not just coming together and we put something out here and then we just let it fly by night. What are we going to do to keep it going on?
Right.
She spoke about Carroll's Park. When I had a South of Volunteer Youth Rally in 2014, there was a big turnout, right? But guess what? I went to the 19th Fifth District, right, to ask for police liaison to come. Not one police officer came. Right, but they want us to improve the quality of our community, but they don't want to be a part of it. So I'm like, listen, I'm on their head. Curtis Jones, all those guys said they want to help. Listen, I pulled 2 police officers over the other day and said, listen, who is the liaison at the 19th Police Street? Who can I talk to? You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? When they said like that's about. My goal is not just to touch our community, right? But to touch the city, right? To touch the city. Right? Because it's not just happening in West Philadelphia, it's happening in North. Listen, it's happening all over the city. I got young men in my facility that are locked up from all over our city, right? And like I told you before, they don't believe that they can be anything. And when she started talking about what they can do and help them, like teach them some skills, how to listen. Back in the day, you was a teller. You was, you know what I mean? 'Cause we used to be sharp.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
the
I still get sharp when it's time. You know what I'm saying?
The teller who was going to teach them is my husband.
Awesome.
And he's been doing it for 30 years. He learned that Bach. And he has 3 uncles that do it. Well, actually 4 that do it for a profession. They're professional tellers. So these young men will learn how to be. Not only to get themselves together and look nice and do those kind of things, but to actually be able to use it as possibly a job.
Yeah, but be able to
make a
learn
living.
textiles,
And so-
because that's the thing we don't know. We don't really understand material textiles. We have no idea how hard it is to work with hide. You know, we don't know.
And that's why it was so good for me to be able to start collaborating with them, because I told you I got Lamont McLaurin, who has a program where you don't just get your GED, you get your high school diploma. Right. I have a friend, Harold Hall, who's a contractor that's willing to teach them contract work. Right, like I said, Mike Monroe. So we can teach them jobs, because let them know that carrying a gun, robbing somebody, selling drugs is not the only way you can make a living. And also, you got me. I'm living proof you can change your life around.
See, here's the thing. We touched on this last week. You touched on it today. My thing is, you can tell the young ladies, don't prostitute. You can tell them, stay off the corner selling drugs. You can tell them all day long. But the thing is, she's making money, he's making money for whatever reason. What are you giving them in place of when you tell them don't do that? So what happened was you got on it, and then but they closed, they sealed the deal pretty much, because they're going to start, as we tell them, let's take this, we're going to give you something in replace, because the thing is, like, okay, I want to stop selling drugs, I really do, but what else am I going to do? Because, I get that, flipping burgers
And you know what? That is really okay. So that was one of the big things that we discussed because we have meetings about this. Like we're passionate about this right now. So
It's time
I
to
got
stay up till literally 5, 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Talking
So
about this.
all right. So before we, because you know time goes. So I want to say what's important. June 14th is Flag Day on the calendar. June 14th is a Friday. We're having a fundraiser, and we're having a fundraiser so that we can attempt to raise funds to continue to facilitate the programs, the workshops. Because this is the thing, your workshop is going for how long?
About 9 weeks.
9 weeks. We already have the dates. The workshop for the children will be 15 weeks. I have 2 other workshops. I'm collaborating with a young man named Symphony. He does, producing and engineering, and he'll take the children in the studio or the young adults in the studio. This is the thing with the music. You want to be a rapper, you want to be a singer, but you don't know how to read music. You don't know the business aspect of the music. So those are the parts that you need to learn so you can really progress in those areas. You don't have to be a singer or a rapper. You could be the producer, you could be the engineer, you can work inside the studio. There's a number of things that you can do. So I have somebody else collaborating with me. We're going to do 3 sets of 10 young individuals initially. 1 from each set will be able to go in the studio, make a CD, but all of them will get,
There
the
are
opportunity.
incentives.
Yeah,
too.
there's incentives.
There's not
you know.
even with my workshop. The incentive is they do get gift cards for them showing up. That's just major for them too and originally we spoke about. And I kind of vacillated back and forth about giving them the gift card to Michael's. And I said, I want to give them a gift card, but they could do what they would like to do with it. And it's money that's legal.
Yeah.
They're able to.
Yeah, I
if they wanna hold-
suggested the gift card thing to Michael's because I said they could put that towards the costumes that they will need for the
That's
play.
true.
But then I thought about it.
And I said,
you have to give them something.
You have to give them
Yeah.
something
For
that
them.
And
Yeah.
then the other incentive is we're going to
talked
sell
about that at the
tickets.
town hall meeting,
yes.
right? But
Yeah.
they'll come out when they have
Yeah,
incentives.
even if it's food,
Yeah.
And I
food
do
and
provide,
this and that.
I will have food for them on the Saturdays that we go. There will be food for them as well. And at the very end, when they sell the tickets to the finale, they get to keep the proceeds, and that is really cooperative economics. We're really fulfilling all those 7 principles, if you will. You have the unity, you have the creativity, you have the cooperative economics. So our whole goal is to really have a community, because the only thing
And people and things that are going to attract them.
Yes,
that's important.
that's what we want.
You tell them about a workshop.
We want
they
attention
don't wanna hear
getters.
about it.
That- see,
You tell
that's
them they can
what
get
I
in
was
the
gonna ask
studio,
you.
They may come. You tell them they can learn how to act and really express themselves through that. They can learn how to make clothes. And one of the other workshops will be coordinating a workshop. It's really in place. We want to just do it. Is the children will be learning, and I'm always saying children, but most of them are adults.
Yes.
They just act like children. I forget that the 20-something-year-olds are children. My sons are 27 and 29, and I'm still calling them, my children. So, but the young adults will learn how to repair cell phones. So we have a workshop where they will learn how to repair cell phones, fix the screens, fix their own phones, make money doing it. We will give them
iPads,
incentives,
use
cell
devices,
phones.
yes.
Yeah,
You mean if I accidentally,
yeah.
And I think that's great because
It has to be stuff they like.
a lot
Yes.
of a lot of these young men, like I said, I work at a juvenile detention facility, right? And I had legitimate old heads that taught me stuff.
Right.
They might have been doing everything they
Likewise.
wasn't supposed to be doing, but they caught me
Right.
doing, they would get at me.
Exactly.
And you ask these young men who their old heads, they 16, 17, but they old head 18, 19.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
not your old head, that's your peer.
That's your peer.
That's your peer. So they really have nobody to guide them.
True.
And the reason what was attracting me to Malika and now this young lady is because they're solution based. Right? Let's give them some incentive. Let's give them something that they can work towards. Let's show them a way that they can make money without causing harm to their community or harm to themselves. The young man told me the reason why I hustle because I got to take care of my family.
And at the
And
end of
it's
the day,
real.
we have
They
to
start families very
understand.
young.
We have to understand, and this is what Khan said, who is the CEO of Iman, which is
Yes, he
Malika's
met
brother.
Khan.
Khan.
He said, and it makes so much sense about what the word community is. He said, we don't really have a community. Community is when we own things. What do we own?
Remember, it's no more black mama. We all grew up in West
No
Florida. We all
ownership.
from the same area.
Mama
You remember
Pops,
hardware stores.
Mama Pop hardware. They were black owned corner
Cleaners.
stores, black owned hardware stores. They were black owned cleaners.
Cleaners, yeah.
Like, listen, if we
Shoe
don't own,
shops,
we
shoe
don't
shops.
shoe shop.
We could
We
rely
don't own
on
anything in our community no more.
Yes.
And we need to go back to that, and it's possible. It's
You know,
possible.
I'm gonna tell you what's gonna be some of the good part about them not being so young. So at the Beacon, we accommodate the, because one of the things that people say is, don't forget about the younger children. They'll someday be that age. Let's get at them now. We already accommodate 5 to 15-year-olds Monday through Friday, 6 to 6.
And we are definitely on them.
So we already accommodate those
accommodate
ages.
them.
So after that age, then you're pushing them out the door. So I want to do this 7 to 10. So I've been communicating with people, making sure that that's an okay time, because you out in the street, you in the Walmart,
Right.
you here, you there, you on the corner, listen to the music, we out. So come to the Beacon,
Right.
give them something to do, and not just one day a week, because if you're coming in on Tuesday, then what you doing Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, so we're going to do it Monday through
Solution
Thursday.
based. See what I'm saying?
We're
I
going to do it
love
Monday
it.
through Thursday.
That's-
We're
love
going to open up the Beacon to them Monday through Thursday, 7 to 10 will be the official times of the workshop. But if you stay a little late, and I already talked to some, I don't need the police because I got security already. And I hope I don't need too much of it, and some of them can be the security for their other young boys. But I got all that covered because, listen, I've been trying to do this for a minute. And so I don't have to work as diligently for other people and can do some things I'm doing, so I have the time now. So this is the time when I'm calling all of my
told y'all
friends
she could
together.
go,
June
boo.
14th. June 14th, I want to see how many people, I want the young people to come for one, because young people, they need to see who they're helping. Then I want all my friends who've been helping me all my life, so they say they want to help me, and I know they will. And I haven't really called them, but it's time.
Okay, so that's June 14th,
So,
where?
June 14th. It's at 5621 Lancaster Avenue at
It's
the
just the
Overbrook
Overbrook
Beacon.
Beacon.
Community
And also, we're not just looking for the monetary donation.
Right.
If you can physically help, that is awesome as
If you
well.
have a store
If you
that
have a
has-
store,
I
if
hate it.
you
The
can
product.
donate
Yes.
supplies,
Yes.
if you can donate food, it does not always have to be a monetary thing. And I think when people would say fundraiser, you're like, oh, funds. Yeah, but if you can give me this, I'll have the funds
Yeah.
to do that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So it's one hand washes the other, and that's all we're really
Like
trying to do.
in-kind
Like we were saying
service.
with the solution base.
I got a flat tire. I got the money for the tire, but I need you to help me push the car.
That
Right,
part. Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's exactly
So I have
what
a
you're
friend
saying.
who has a phone store, and he said, okay, I'll give the children phone cases for their kind of phones they have, and we'll give them earphones, and those who do good, maybe they get an iPhone, and so we
And
ready.
see,
Yeah.
what attracted me to what she's saying is that the population of the young men that I'm geared towards helping, the young men that are carrying guns, selling drugs, killing each other, going to the penitentiary, and all that stuff, right? She's giving my platform a platform to send them to.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And that's what we got.
Yeah,
Listen, we
yeah.
talk about a lot of people have programs,
Yeah.
right? And they come out and they start off like a house on fire, right? Then they fizzle out, right? So what I'm saying, we need to form a coalition, an umbrella, right? So we don't lose. My program doesn't lose its identity. Their program doesn't lose their identity. But we can come together and we can help each other. We can assist each other because
It's
what's
building
going on?
blocks.
What's
It's
going
building
on now?
It's the system in reverse. The system that was put in place for our kids to do that, we're creating another system of our own.
Because what's
to
going on
funnel our
now?
kids.
My
Yeah.
program
That
alone.
reminds me
have
of.
Yeah, what's,
It reminds me
what's
of
going on now? My program alone can't stop it.
Right.
It can be, it can make a
Right.
dent, but I need their program. I need another program. I need another
change.
program. So
It's
when
the
we have,
change.
we need to assist each other
Yeah, it's
to
the
bring
change.
about this change that we trying to
But you know
develop.
what
In
Derek said?
actuality, it's a food web. It's not
Yeah.
even really a food chain. It's a chain. Food chain stops.
Right.
Food web keeps reaching
Right.
out.
Exactly.
It
Yeah.
keeps,
Right.
feeding.
You,
and funding.
you know what Derek said? Derek said, not just in my neighborhood, in the city. And that's how I ended up in Nicetown. Because I'm from West Philly.
Right.
Lived in West Philly, born and raised, went to high school in West Philly, did everything in West
That's
Philly.
how we
I might have
progress.
stepped out and visited. People think I'm from South Philly or think I'm from here because I've spent time in those places. I was born and raised in West Philadelphia, graduated from Overbrook High School. I'm from
Hey,
West Philly.
Panthers.
Right.
Yeah, I
So,
play ball for Brooks.
When
Hey.
I met Derek, I met him in Nicetown. I went over to Nicetown, me and my brother, we spoke to Nicole, and said, we're going over there. Because we need to try to collaborate. That was our main reason why we went.
And the guy that
across
put
town.
together that town meet is from West Philly, but he has a business in Nicetown.
Yes.
So he sees what goes on there and where he's
Yeah.
from.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, I read Dr. Naeem Akbar's book when he was talking about the reconstructionists, deconstructionists, and constructionists, and he said you gotta literally deconstruct what we were taught. You have to tear it all the way down till there's nothing but dirt.
Yeah, you gotta
And you
destroy
have to
before
have
you
a
build.
forest fire in order for the new growth to happen.
Absolutely.
And that's what's happening now. Everybody, I mean, a lot of people we've spoken to over the last couple of months, everybody's like, yo, this is our
This
year.
is real. This is our year.
This is our
This is our year.
It's happening. Everybody's
I had
starting
brain
There's
to
an
surgery
like
and I
energy.
came
There's
back.
an
It's an
energy
you
that
know,
is
the
taking
vibration.
over.
How many people
people.
remember not too long ago,
And
because
it's
they were
time.
just in existence not too long ago, the Philadelphia Anti-Drug, Anti-Violence Network.
Right.
Where they at right now? Where they at? See, listen, where they at? What, you know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is that, listen.
Is
I
that
don't-
something like what I said earlier?
Yeah, I
Some
don't
of
want
these
nobody to
people-
say. I don't want nobody to say the boy Derek Brown Cloud from West Philly Moon Gang, right? He started a program called Real Men Saving Lives. He was on fire for a minute, then he fizzled out. I'm going to develop some people
That's right.
that when I can't do it no more, they keep doing it, because this is not going to go away overnight. I remember I told you a story. I was in a barbershop. I was getting ready to get a haircut. So I was telling her, Dad, Cloud, good what you doing, man. With anything you need, I'm help you, right? So the guy said, man, I ain't trying to help them young boys. I said, dig this. If every man our age takes that stance, right, nothing never gonna change.
Right.
We the ones that gotta get out here and show them a better way. Because the minute something happens to one of your family members, then you want to be reactive,
Yeah.
right? Right?
Or, this is the other thing, and I used to say this because I've been a teacher for 20 years. And I remember talking to a student, this is when I was a mentor teacher, I was teaching teachers, and I was talking to a student, and he said, why do you care so much? I said, because one day my daughter might run into you.
Amen.
And we forget about that. We won't even help these young brothers and
Yeah, it's
young
crazy.
sisters because one day my son might, my niece might. Even if that's the motivation, you have to find something.
Yeah.
Because it's not always about us.
And they always say, you do
It's
so much.
directly, indirectly.
Because they're not doing
Yes.
nothing.
Right.
And people always
And-
telling me, you're doing so much, you're doing so much.
And I'm gonna tell you
That's because
something.
you're not doing
Anything.
anything.
What?
Yeah.
And you're not, and let me say this, these young
Actually, it's
brothers
not
and
funny.
sisters, they are yearning for somebody
Yes, they
to
are.
just
Because the
touch.
moment you get them together,
Before
and
y'all
get some
came on the
structure,
show,
they
right?
love it.
You know what I spoke at a school yesterday, but they were younger kids,
Okay.
right? They were preteens, and I told them that they are great, and that y'all are kings and
And
queens.
queens.
And we need to instill that mindset in them now. Let them know there's greatness in them. Tap into their greatness and understand that you are a king and you're a queen, and you can accomplish and be anything you want to, right? But we need to start doing that now. And the ones that are out here that are confused and messed up on Instagram, half naked, getting high, fighting each other,
They're
we need to
still
grab hold of them.
queens.
We need to grab hold of them and say, listen, sister, you don't gotta do that. You don't gotta reveal
Nope.
all that. You a queen. Listen, brother, you don't gotta do all that. You a king. And once we start getting them in that mindset, I don't believe there's hopelessness going on. I believe that we have just lost our way, and it's going to take some people to be committed and consistent to changing the mindset of what's going on.
Listen, consistency is everything. That's why I said we're not doing this for one day. I can tell them, I said we can't do this. We got to figure out how to do
No.
it. One day's not enough.
Because they're going to want more.
And then I said we can't just do it for 5 weeks. So then we went to 7. Then we went to 9. So now on the programs we had 15. So 15 weeks. So my reason for raising the money is so we can just keep going. That's it. Because guess what? The people that I'm working with, they on fire. They want to do this.
Oh, we're very
the
passionate.
children,
Very
they like when they come, or the young folks, and they see us and we put the mics down and we talk like them.
Right.
I'm
You
gonna
understand where
say
I'm
this.
coming
I'm gonna say this. I know we don't have much more time. I've been working with juveniles for a long time, and I had a young boy from 8th and Diamond. He told me, so no matter what you tell me, when I get out, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna sell drugs. I'm gonna carry guns. I'm in the strip mall one day. I hear somebody say, "Mr. Brown, Mr. Brown." And he runs up, he's a little bit more bigger, he had a little beard. He said, man, I just graduated from community college, right? He said, I'm getting ready to go to Temple, right?
Shout
Right?
out to that
He said, I'm
brother.
getting ready to go to
Yeah, shout
Temple,
out.
right? And he said, I'm also do electrical work with my uncle. He said, Mr. Brown, I want to thank you. Now listen, Dick, I'm a big mean joker sometimes.
Now,
right?
was that Mr.
brought a tear to my
That-
eye.
look,
You know what I'm
same situation
saying?
happened to
Right?
my-
Because this, he said, Mr. Brown, if it wasn't for you taking an interest in me, right? He said, when I got out, everything that you said to me resonated. Right? And I turned my life around. He said, the only mistake I had, a little baby in his arm. He said, I got a baby to take care of. Right? I said, let that be your motivation too.
Let that be
Right,
your,
right.
not even, once you have a lineage,
But,
your motivation
but
is
I'm just
different.
to say that let me know that how much we pour into people, how much we pour into our youth, how much we adamant about helping them, that doesn't go for naught.
And
Right?
the other thing is we have to understand what communication really is. Communication verbally, it is powerful, but it's the touch. When you could actually touch somebody and they see you seeing them and you still willing to stay there and help.
Right.
And you know what else we do? We always talk after you, tell them what they need to do. How about we need to ask them, what do you think you need so we can help you become better?
Yes.
What do you want to
be.
great at?
Right.
Because we tell them, you need to be doing this. No, my approach is, what do you think you need so I can help you be what you want to be?
I told my son, he's into music. He's always been into music. And he wrote this rap.
Well, let me just
and
say
I
this,
heard
because
it.
she never tells anybody. She done music, she's
Comedy.
done theater, she was a professional comedian, she done wrote a book. So, you
Oh, is
know,
that why she was sitting over in the cut?
yeah, probably hiding, saying that.
Well, this on YouTube, so y'all gonna hit.
Wait,
High.
Yeah.
Black
Wait,
excellence.
wait.
You're
Well,
getting
listen, I'm
high.
glad to come here.
It's gonna be on soon as we get off. You go look at it.
Yes, ma'am, and you gotta come back.
But you know, I was telling him, you know, and don't get me wrong, I love rap just like the next person. I love every genre of music. I'm an artist. That's what I do. But the thing was that bothered me was the language. And I said, there's a such thing as creative license. But I told him, go back to the drawing board and all that foul language. I said, if there's 10 curse words in there, cut them in half and go to the dictionary, to the thesaurus, and find a new word. Because you're going to lose your vocabulary. So he went back and he went back and he went back. So when he had 5, when he got down to 5 curse words, I said, now cut that one in half. And you go back and find. He was like, dang, Mom. I said, that sounds better. I
And
said,
they were creative.
Very
That's when you
creative.
see the creativity.
Yes.
Yeah, because you can express yourself
And I
without
know
using
that's the teacher in me,
profanity.
but that's also the mother in me.
But you know, once something Derek said about the children, this is my pet peeve. They know, everybody know I talk about this. What am I going to talk about? These children,
And the phones.
these phones. But we fuss at them, but we can't put ours
Right,
down.
no.
But okay, so keep your phones. But let me show you how to make money with your phone. Because there are children, okay, so, that's something else we did. We can start a coding. Okay, that's already in works. We're
Yes.
starting a coding
Oh,
workshop.
Oh,
So
yes.
we'll give you all the information. You can share it with the community. I could be here all day. But we're starting our coding workshop. We already have a waiting list. I already have the computers and the tablets.
Oh, that's awesome.
The Wi-Fi is put in.
I'll
So
tell
the
you, man,
children
they
need to
my
learn
new
how to-
friends,
Yeah,
man.
the children
We
need to
need to
learn.
take a
So,
break.
so before we let you go, we need to know, because I got to bring y'all back.
Okay.
I gotta bring y'all back. But before I let y'all go and bring y'all back, how can people? Because you got this thing and you got that thing, and everybody's itching talking about something. I love it. I want to be a part of it. How can they get in contact with you?
So you can get.
My name is Malika Jackson. I'm a director at the Overbrook Beacon Community Center, and I'm also one of the volunteer directors with Amani Start Development. They can reach me at 267-269-0916, or they can email me. I don't do the Facebook and Instagram and Snapchat
Yeah,
and
neither
Twitter,
do I.
but we got a whole bunch of people on our team who
That
does.
do.
Yeah, yeah. So, and Amani Start Development has a website. So it's www.amanistar.org. And if you go on there and look, you'll see Najwa and myself. You'll see my brother. You'll see a few other people on the
Yes.
team. You'll see some of the things that we've done, the coding workshops and things. It's right there. You can see it. And currently they have a pre-apprenticeship program going on Mondays and Wednesdays. They started recruiting about 3 weeks ago.
3 weeks ago, yeah.
Recruited and have started the classes. So the email for me, though, if you want to email me, you can do that, is m.jack.beacon, BEACON, @gmail.com.
And my name is Najwa Abdul Sabor. I am the assistant director at the Overbrook Beacon, and I can be reached at n.abdu.beacon@gmail.com.
That's
And my
awesome.
name is Derek Brown. You can reach me on Facebook as Derek Brown. Instagram 130962. No, Cloud 130962. And my email address is ashby119114 And I'm from Real Men Saving Lives.
Derek knows how to get us.
Yes.
Derek knows how to get
Well,
us.
we appreciate y'all coming out here. Two things. We were supposed to have had again John Canada Terrell, AKA Flash from Five Heartbeats, but that ain't happened. And then at 7, we were supposed to have a phone interview with Martha Reeves, from yeah, but I had to take that phone call because I put it out there that that show got canceled and Sugar House got aware of it and had their people call my people, and I don't have no people, so their people called me to say, can you take that down? Because Sugar House wants to make that announcement first. Too late, because I already made the announcement.
Well, you know, I just want to say this is actually my third time back here.
Okay, cool.
And I want to thank Sonia, the Sunny Show, Philly Hot Radio, for
we gonna blow
for
y'all
giving,
up.
for
Yeah,
giving
yeah,
me
yeah, y'all gotta
for
come
giving me
back.
a platform,
Yeah, that's
giving me a
right.
platform, and then so I can. I'm real adamant about this. So when I met them,
Yeah.
when I met her, I said, "You, what I tell you?
Yeah,
I
we
said,
can
you
see it.
gotta come."
Because I was on one
Yeah.
side, he was on the other side.
That's that
A
energy
few
and that
people
vibration.
spoke, he spoke,
Go
it got
for it.
around to me, and I said, okay, I knew I needed. It was one woman. I mean, I need them all. But sometimes you can do two things better. You can do 10.
Right.
But anybody can come. If you need to come and do something, you come. I can help you. Facilitate some programs. If you have any free programs, come to the community. We don't have the date set up, but the first week in June we're gonna have a breakfast. So
Yeah, the Real Men Saving Lives
We'll have a
is going to collaborate with Amani Star. They're going to give me assistance with putting on a youth breakfast
Yes.
where I'm going to have some men who were incarcerated but now are productive members of societies, business owners, hard workers come share their story and tell them how these youth and these young men can live a better quality life without dying and going to the
Can I
penitentiary.
say one thing?
Okay.
Share this with our young people. The drone business, the drone industry is a $127 billion industry.
Absolutely.
It just started in 2016. It's only 2019. Some of them started in 2013, but they didn't really start selling drones till 2016. I've been buying them since then. Okay, it's 2019. While we're still in the flow and not behind as traditionally we are, some of the last to know about some things in our community, the drones, look up the drones, teach your children the drones, buy them the drones, tell them you can get a FAA certification pilot license at 16.
Yeah, we're gonna talk.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that.
We're
We're
gonna
going to
play
close
some
out of
music.
here and play some music, and we'll take a pause for the calls, and then we'll be back bringing our next guest.